Hey y'all, what's good, what's poppin'? I'm so excited to get into today's video because today we have a subscriber request. So I had one of my subscribers ask if I could do a review on the new Colourpop Cheek Dew Serum Blush. So I picked up a couple shades here, as you can see, and we're gonna get into it today. We're gonna be doing a full-blown review. We're gonna be doing swatches. I'm gonna give you all my first impressions. We'll do a demo and a wear test. So that is what we're gonna be doing today. We're gonna get into that. If y'all are interested in seeing that video, be sure to stick around till the end. Before we get into it though, I do just wanna say thank you to all my new and returning subscribers out there. Thank y'all so much for sticking around, supporting my content, and helping me to grow the channel. If you're new here and you haven't already, just be sure to go ahead and click that subscribe button and the bell button as well, so that you get a notification every time I upload a new video. And with that being said, let's get into it. So like I said, we're gonna be doing a full-blown review today. I'm gonna get into it. Now, if y'all know the format of my reviews, usually I start off with like a brand overview and then I get more specific about the product, and then we get into the swatches and then the demo. I think I'm gonna skip the brand overview part today. I don't really feel like I need to explain Colourpop. I feel like Colourpop is like the Fashion Nova of the makeup world. Like, everybody knows what Colourpop is. So we're just gonna keep it real simple, skip the company overview, but I do just wanna talk about the product a little bit. So first I wanna read the product description from the website. So the website says, this innovative mistake-proof liquid blush features a pillow soft formula that combines skin-loving ingredients with a dewy rush of color, lightweight on the skin and buildable, customizable coverage, leaves skin looking naturally flush with a healthy glow. Its easy to use formula wears well over bare skin, concealer, or foundation, and applies easily with a beauty sponge, brush, or fingertips. Now, I do have some feelings about some of those claims. I think some of them are accurate. I don't think other ones are accurate. We'll get into it when I get into the demo, but I just wanted to read over the product description for y'all. So like it says, this is supposed to be mistake-proof. It's supposed to blend into the skin like a dream. It's supposed to be buildable, and it gives your skin a nice healthy dew. Those are the claims that it's making. It also claims to have a skin-loving formula, so we've got some skincare ingredients in here as well. Like the product suggests, it is a serum blush. Some of the notable ingredients in here include vitamin C, which is a really good multifunctional ingredient. It helps to promote collagen production. It helps to promote even skin tone and provides antioxidant support as well. We've got vitamin E, which is another antioxidant, and it also is known to provide skin nourishment. And then we've also got hyaluronic acid in here, which is a humectant ingredient that helps to draw moisture from the air into the skin, and it can help with plumping up the skin and smoothing over fine lines and wrinkles. So I love that about this product. Y'all know that I'm kind of on like a clean beauty kick right now, not so much because I'm trying to avoid certain ingredients, but because I love that clean beauty tends to focus more on skincare benefits and combining that with cosmetic products. Now, this doesn't necessarily claim to be a clean beauty product, but I do love the fact that it is supposed to be like a 2-in-1 skincare makeup product, and I do appreciate that they've included some of those skin loving ingredients in here, so I feel a little bit less guilty about applying makeup to my face. So the blush comes in 10 shades. They sell for $7 each, but I'm looking on the website right now, and currently it looks like they're having a sale for $5.25 each. Not all the shades are available currently, but obviously they'll come back in stock, and Colourpop's always having sales. I know when I picked these up, they had like a buy one get one free sale. If you're just looking to buy an individual one, it's gonna set you back $7, but if you want to buy multiples, you'll probably get a discount, and they're constantly having sales as well. And then each blush comes with 0.48 ounces of product. Just to show y'all, this is how big the serum blush is compared to this right here. This is the Tower 28 Beach Please Cream Blush. I just did a review on this. I know that it might not look like it, but there's actually 3 times as much product in here as there is in here. Like I said, I'll get into it a little bit more during the review and y'all will actually be able to see, but I feel like it might cancel out a little bit because this is more of a sheer formula, so I feel like you end up using more product per application to get a similar color payoff. But I do just want to note that there is 3 times as much product in here as there is in here, just to give you all an idea and a reference on how much you're getting for your money's worth. So I'm filming this part of the video post application. I've already gone ahead and done all my makeup, including the blush, and this is what it looks like. It is very dewy, and actually I didn't really build it up as much as I would have liked to, just because it was very dewy off the jump. Y'all know I do like to go ahead and apply 2 layers of products when I'm doing a review, so that y'all have an idea of how buildable things are and what kind of color payoff you can expect from it. But I felt like 1 layer was doing a lot as far as how dewy it made my skin, so I decided to just cut it off at 1 layer of product. But this is what we're looking like. So that's all I really have to say about the product. Not too much to talk about here, but before I get into the demo and actually show y'all how it applies, I do just want to go ahead and get into some swatches for y'all, just because I do know that some people out there like to use my videos for reference for shade matches when it comes to products. So I did go ahead and swatch these really heavy on my arm to show y'all what these look like built up, unblended out, and then I also did go ahead and swatch these on my face so you had a better idea of what this looks like on my complexion. Okay, so let's talk about the swatches on my arm first. So you can see here, going from left to right, I picked up 5 shades. So all the way on the left we have Kiss Kiss, and that is supposed to be a warm peachy nude. Next to that, we have the shade Bubbles. So that's supposed to be a muted brick terracotta color. After that, we have Hotline, which is supposed to be a soft warm pink color. Next to that, we have Tumble for Ya, which is a muted cool tone pink. And then all the way on the right, we have the shade So Cosmo, which is described as a warm coral color. So that was everything swatched heavy on my arm, just to give you an idea of what these look like, really heavy on my skin tone. And then I did go ahead and apply these to the face and blend them out, just so you have an idea of what this looks like on my complexion. In these videos, I'm just wearing my Kevyn Sensual Skin Enhancer all over my face like a foundation, but I don't have any other product going on underneath. I don't have any bronzer, I don't have any setting powder, anything like that. It's just my skin and the foundation, just so that y'all have an idea of what this looks like on my skin tone. Also with these, I went ahead and blended them out with my finger. I don't know why. They blended out kind of funny with my finger. Not all of them blended out really well. I wasn't necessarily going for a super polished look with this. I was just trying to demonstrate the color on my complexion. So please excuse that, but hopefully you'll still get a good idea of the kind of color payoff you can expect from these products on my skin tone. Alright, so I'm done rambling now about the product. That's it for all the product info and these swatches. So now I'm going to go ahead and just get into the demo. I'm going to go ahead and show y'all in real time how this applies, how I would apply this, and then once I'm done all that, we'll go ahead and finish the video off with a wear test. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright y'all, so I'm ready to go ahead and get into the application and demo the product for y'all, but before I get into that, y'all know the drill. We got to go over my off-camera skincare and makeup routine just so that y'all have an understanding of what's going on underneath the blush, so that if it applies funny, you can decide whether or not it was the blush itself that was underperforming or whether it just wasn't playing well with the products underneath. So for my skincare, real simple, I went ahead and washed my face in the shower, and then right out the shower, I went ahead and used this Naturium Niacinamide Essence 3%. So this has 3% niacinamide to help improve the appearance of uneven skin tone, help improve skin texture, help to regulate sebum production. It's just a really good ingredient for helping to normalize and regulate the skin in general. There's also sodium hyaluronate and glycerin in here, which helps to draw moisture into the skin. After that, I went ahead and used this Pureheal Centella 90 Ampoule. So this is a serum that contains 90% Centella asiatica extract, which is an ingredient that's really good at helping the skin to repair itself, and it's good at helping to calm the skin. It also provides antioxidant benefits. So I went ahead and applied this after the toner just to help calm my skin down and help start that skin repair process. For moisturizer, I'm using this Naturium Niacinamide Gel Cream 5%. So again, this has 5% niacinamide, a really good skin normalizing ingredient. It also contains silicone, which serves as an occlusive ingredient, which it's gonna create this barrier over the skin that helps to lock moisture in, but in doing so, it also creates this nice smooth surface over the skin for me to apply product to. It helps to fill in pores and blur out the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles. It is daytime, so I did just go ahead and throw on a little bit of sunscreen. So I'm just using this Suncut Aqualy UV Protect Gel SPF 50 PA 4+. I love the texture of that sunscreen. It's not really like a typical American sunscreen. It doesn't have a greasy finish at all. It dries down to a nice satin skin finish, and it provides really good sun protection. So that's my skincare. And then for makeup, I kept it real simple as well. So for my base, I went ahead and just used this Kevyn the Sensual Skin Enhancer. I used the shade SX10. Normally with this product, I just spot conceal, but instead I actually just went ahead and applied it like I would a full face of foundation. So I just went ahead and applied it more evenly over the skin and then just buffed it in. And then I also used a very light hand and applied a little bit of this Danessa Myricks Beauty Power Bronzer in the shade Medium, you know, just to help warm up my face a little bit and give it a little bit more color. But I didn't want to really go too heavy because I want the main focus of the video to be the blush. But that's all I have going on the face. I just want to go over that before I went in and started the application so that y'all had an idea of what's going on. Alright, so I'm ready to go ahead and get into the application here. I was kind of torn between whether I wanted to use this shade here, which is Kiss Kiss. This is supposed to be a warm peachy shade, or this shade here, Bubbles, which is supposed to be a muted terracotta shade. I'm gonna go with Kiss Kiss because I think it's gonna really complement this light bronze look I have going on right now and really help to amplify that. And it was the color I was most excited to try out, so I want to go ahead and see how that applies on top. Come on, focus. Hello. Okay, so it says you can apply with a brush, a sponge, or fingers. Now y'all know that I tend to prefer applying with a brush just because I feel like it's more hygienic that way, using a clean brush head to get product rather than using a finger. Now this is a tube design, so I don't necessarily mind using a finger for this because unlike a jar, there's nothing to really dip your finger into. You can just squeeze out the amount you need and tap it out. You don't have to stick your finger into the product at all. But I will say, I don't know if y'all noticed in the swatches that I applied to the face, I had blended those out with a finger just because I figured it'd be quicker to do it that way than to use my brush and clean it off every time. It was really hard to blend it out with a finger, and some of them didn't blend out perfectly. I do want to actually try it today and make it look good, so I'm gonna go ahead and do my normal technique. I'm gonna take it on a brush, and then if I need to buff out the edges, I will with a sponge. So I'm gonna take this Real Technique stippling brush. I'm just gonna get a little bit of the product on the brush head, and then I'm gonna gently stipple it on my cheeks that way, and we'll see how this works. Okay, yeah, I totally prefer blending this out with a brush. I just feel like it blended much easier. I don't know, it was so weird yesterday. It was like glossy and sticky. It wasn't really working well with my finger, and I was really hoping it would apply better with a brush. So far it is. Let me show y'all something. I don't know if y'all can see, but this is really, really dewy. So I decided to stick with a cream foundation product and then cream blush because I just figured this wasn't gonna do well on a powder foundation or over a setting powder or a powdered bronzer. So I decided to stick with cream products just to make it a little easier on me. And it did blend out really well, I will say that. But y'all, look at this. Like, this part of my face is satiny, and that will change throughout the day, you know, as I get a little bit more oily, but so far this is like a satin finish. And just look at how dewy this part is right here. You can visibly see the difference in dew between where I've applied the blush and where I haven't. Who knows, maybe it'll settle down a little bit and not look as dewy. But if you're looking for something that's a little bit more satiny, or you just don't like a super glossy dewy look, this product probably isn't gonna be for you. But it blended out effortlessly into the skin. There's no harsh edges or anything. It didn't lift the foundation underneath at all, which is really nice. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the other cheek now. Okay, so I went ahead and applied it to this cheek, and then I just applied the excess to the bridge of my nose, and this is what we are looking like. So again, using the brush, it blended out beautifully into the skin. I don't see any harsh lines or edges. But again, as you can see, there's just a huge difference in dewiness between the parts of my skin where I'm just wearing foundation and bronzer, and then the parts of my skin where I've applied the blush. This is incredibly dewy. So again, I just want to emphasize, if you're not a fan of the dewy skin look, you're someone with oily skin, this might not be the product for you. Also, I will say, I don't know how it's coming across on camera. I don't know if it looks heavy at all, but I find that this product is really sheer. I had to use quite a bit of product to get some color payoff. So as of right now, I don't necessarily hate the blush. I'm not necessarily in love with it either. I would recommend it with a few caveats. If you are someone with extremely oily skin, or you don't like that dewy skin look, I would definitely recommend steering away. If you are someone that likes a really pigmented blush, this might not be for you either. Also, like I said, when I was doing the swatches for y'all, it just didn't really blend out well using a finger. I don't know, it was just not blending in properly. It was looking patchy, and I just couldn't get the edges to blur. With a brush, it was fine. I didn't have any issues. So with this product, I would recommend maybe not applying this with your fingers, at least not over a full face of foundation. Maybe it does apply better on bare skin, but as far as using fingers to apply this over a foundation, I don't really know about that. I would suggest sticking to a brush or a sponge. That being said, if you don't mind the dewy look, or you are in the market for a sheer blush, this might be up your alley. All in all, like I said, don't necessarily hate it, don't love it either, but I do want to do a wear test for y'all and give y'all my final thoughts on it on a few hours and see whether or not I still feel the same way. I'm really interested to see how this holds up through a full day's wear, so we are going to do that. So this is what we're looking like off the jump. Currently, it's a little bit after 12. I do have a few things to do today, so I'm gonna get on that, and then I'll check in with y'all in a few hours to show y'all how this held up and to give y'all my final thoughts on whether or not I still recommend the product at the end of a full day's wear. Alright y'all, so I'm back to do my final check-in and get my final impressions on the product and whether or not I still recommend it. Before I start turning into the product though, I do just want to do a quick time check for y'all. So currently it is a little bit after 7 o'clock. When we sat down to do our first check-in, it was a little bit after 12. So this is what we're looking like after about 7 hours of wear. Let me come in a little closer so that y'all can see a little bit better up close, because I feel like far away it's not going to do justice. So this is what everything looks like 7 hours later. So looking here in the mirror, you know, everything is a little bit more dewy now. The oils are starting to peek through on my whole face, but the cheek area is still a little bit dewier than the rest of the face. I was really really afraid that all my oils were gonna really just tear this product apart and make it break up and nasty, but it looks like, at least as far as not breaking up, it does a good job of playing well with your skin's natural oils. It might be a little bit hard to tell on camera because I'm looking a little shiny right now. You know, I'm looking like a glazed donut. It might be making it a little bit hard to see, but it doesn't look like it really faded too much. I can still see the blush even on the bridge of my nose here where I applied it earlier. I still have a distinct blush look going on there, and it's still here on the cheeks. It might have faded like a little bit, but nothing noticeable, which again, considering how much my oils have come through, is really a surprise. I'm glad that most of the pigment is still there. Now again, like I said, it is still a little bit more oily than the surrounding areas, and as my oils did peek through throughout the day, that did kind of amplify the dew as well. And I have to say, I also forgot to mention anything about the setting power of this. When I did the first impressions, it was very wet and dewy from the jump, so I figured it hadn't really settled down, but I mean, it feels nice on the skin, it's comfortable, it doesn't feel wet sitting on top of my face. But when I actually go to touch it, I can tell that it hasn't really set down too much, and I don't know if the camera's gonna pick it up, but it does lift a tiny bit. So I'm assuming that's why when I was doing the swatches, I had issues blending it out with the fingers. Again, I did that over a face foundation essentially, so maybe on bare skin it might blend out a little bit better with fingers, but at least on top of complexion products, I would definitely recommend going in with a brush. So my final thoughts on the product, do I recommend this or not? I will say I don't hate it. It did do a pretty decent job of lasting throughout the day. It really hasn't faded, even though, you know, it doesn't really properly set down, and it didn't break up when my oils started to peek through, so it is nice on that end. It does have a decent wear time. I do love also that Colourpop took the time to include skincare ingredients in here as well, so this is beneficial for the skin while you wear it, and I really like the color as well. I think it's a really beautiful shade. I will say though, if you are someone with oily skin or you don't like that dewy skin look, this might not be for you. I think that this will definitely be a hit for people with more normal to dry skin type. Again, in my experience, it was kind of hard to blend out with a finger, so I would recommend using either a brush or a sponge to blend it out. I wouldn't recommend going in with a finger. It doesn't really 100% set, so you got to be careful. I didn't really have any issues when I used the brush with it lifting any products underneath, but when I go ahead and use a finger, it can get a little messy and disrupt the product underneath a little bit. Also, this is super sheer, so if you are someone that likes a really pigmented blush, you might want to look for something else. So I would recommend this to people with normal to dry skin, people that prefer a glass skin look, a dewy skin look, people that want a sheer natural looking blush. But otherwise, if you are looking for something that's a little bit more pigmented, a little bit more long wearing, or it's just more oily skin friendly, I would definitely suggest looking elsewhere. But yeah, that's it for my review. That's my final thoughts on the product. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Let me know down in the comments what you liked about this video, what you disliked. Let me know if you're interested in checking this product out after you've seen this video. Like I said before, if you haven't already, just be sure to go ahead and click that subscribe button and the bell button as well, so that you get a notification every time I upload a new video. And with that being said, I should be back shortly with new content. Bye.